on, people? You got one of those action figure things that I need to do because these boxes have been building up for a while now. There was a time when I thought I was going to be able to do this like weekly or whatever. Well, I mean, I'm able to do it, but I thought I was going to do that consistently. And then several weeks passed, and now you just got a bunch of crap over here. So, luckily, I guess I don't need this knife just yet because some of these first things aren't packaged up or whatever because I just got them off the shelf. So we'll just do those 2, 3 real quick. So got this edge here from, what is this, Series 102, and also Sami Zayn. These both came from the local Wal-Mart, I believe it was. At some point, I do still need to pick up that Rhea Ripley over there. I was thinking about that Commissioner Foley, but I kind of just don't like the way the figure looks, honestly, so I probably won't get that. But it's something to consider, if it sticks around or the price drops or whatever, we'll see what happens. And also, Target exclusive. I think it actually says on there somewhere. Yeah, at the top, only a Target. So that's going to be Adam Cole, right? You can kind of see that on the side if my fingers weren't all in the way. But I do think this is a pretty cool figure. You can't really tell so much because the lighting in here isn't the best right about now. But he's got like the standard style jacket that you have on a lot of these AEW figures. And then as far as the face goes, it actually looks really good, which is kind of surprising because a lot of these faces can be terrible. Some of them are pretty solid, don't get me wrong, but every so often they do one, and I'm just like, what is going on here? Riho's was kind of like that in a way. That'll give me a little bit extra light there. Riho's was kind of like that in a way, but I'm not going to sit here and sound like I'm talking down on her, but she also has like sometimes like a weird look anyways, so maybe the figure was just realistic. I don't know. Again, not trying to be rude, I mean, I'm not like the best looking person either, right? But I'm just saying her figure came out kind of weird, and I don't know if I can complain about it, Either way, moving along. So Mattel Creations, right? So usually that's where I get some of those limited edition wrestling figures. This thing is not even trying to come out of this box. Are you seeing this? So we'll just open it from the other side and then just kind of push it all the way through. But yeah, so they sell a lot of like the limited edition ones. You'll see actually 2 of these in the next, hopefully under 30 minutes, because I don't want us to be here all night opening boxes or whatever. But either way, so this one is going to be the Logan Paul one, just to kind of give you an idea of what you're possibly waiting for. And there's the front of it. So you got Logan Paul. He was just at SummerSlam this weekend. On the side, you got that. On the other side, you got that. On the back, there's nothing really there. So we got some little tape up here. Go ahead and get this open real quick so we can all see what's going on inside this thing. At some point, it will be opened up and displayed and all that stuff. That's the plan. I was actually talking to a coworker about that earlier today, about what kind of shelves we need to buy. Like, because, I mean, he has his share of things. I have my share of things, and just kind of trading ideas and whatnot. And so I don't remember what that's from, but it says, I am the table up there. Let's see what's going on here. So it's very much like the box flies. It's very much like the Cody figure because it had the same like shape to the box or whatever. So that's kind of what it's looking like and everything. Bring that in so you can get a better look at him. Now, if you were at WrestleMania or you watched WrestleMania, he did have a Pokemon card in that little container thing around his neck. This is just plain, right? And that is just weird to me because it just makes it look a little dumb. I keep wanting to look over there because that's where the video is. Camera's over here, though. It just looks a little foolish to me. But, I mean, I guess they didn't want to pay the extra money for, to license whoever the card was. But the figure itself actually looks really good. Same with, Adam Cole. He's got, the nice little jacket on and all that stuff. So, pretty nice. If at any point, I usually say this, because I do plan to show some of these things in more detail later. But if there is anything that people want to see more of specifically, just make it known and then I'll do something about it, probably throw together one of those quick videos like I did with the Ninja Turtles things and stuff like that. So now this next little box right here comes from, I forget the name of the thing, but Stan Sakai, right? He's got his own little store. He's the guy that made Usagi Yojimbo. That's a name that might mean something to 2 people. So bought some stuff from him not all that long ago because I thought, I mean, I knew I was going to Comic-Con and that I'd have a possibility of seeing him or whatever there. But just in case, I thought, let me go ahead and just buy some of these random things now because I don't know if he'll actually be there or not. So this is just a lanyard, which I will probably wear next week, maybe. I buy a lot of lanyards because at work I need to wear a lanyard with my little thing on it or whatever. And then this came with a little sticker in here. So that's the guy I was talking about. Not Stan Sakai, but Usagi Yojimbo. And this is just like this little Year of the Rabbit notebook thing. It's not for me. That's a gift for somebody. I thought that they would like it so they can write down their things. And it comes with this nice little pen too. See that? Year of the Usagi. So pretty nice. Gold trim, red pen. I assume it writes in black, but I don't know, honestly, because I just opened it, right? And I didn't really read anything about it. I just knew that I needed to purchase it, and now that has happened. So we're going to move on to this box. It also comes from Target, like that Adam Cole figure did. What it is, though, I have some guesses. Does anybody out there care to guess at all? I say that like there's people that are like really like involved in this video. There isn't. I see some people are watching and they're just kind of sticking to themselves, which is completely fine by me, right? I am one of those people who's big on using YouTube live things, just like background noise sometimes. So I don't say anything in most of the lives that I attend. This is some kind of black and yellow Batman. It was for something about Sinestro and Green Lanterns and things. So you got the gold label thing up on the side because it is a gold label figure from McFarlane Toys. Also, if you go to the McFarlane Toy Shop, you'll see all kinds of other Batman figures and such there, and various other DC things. But the reason I bought this is because, as I've said before, actually, I think I just put up a video today about it. I'm a big fan of black and yellow things. I got no problems with Batman. I do kind of like Green Lantern. So all that combined, and now here we are. And there on the back, you have that big old Target sticker that they like to put on things. But as far as this figure goes, I like this thing a lot, actually. Like looking at it now, because I never really saw it in stores or anything. I just pre-ordered it. So this is actually really cool, and at least in my opinion, I probably would say I like this more than those multiverse Flash statues that I bought. Because if you saw that video a while ago, I picked up two of those. One was masked, one was unmasked, right? But it's still just the standard Batman from the Flash movie, which was the Batman from like 1989. And I want to say that came in at $30. That sounds about right for a, what do you call that? A McFarlane figure. But don't quote me on it, but I feel like I'm right in the ballpark. So take that for what it's worth. If that's the thing that you're into, a lot of that stuff doesn't move super fast. So if you head on over to Target, you should find it there. And this is, oh, nice. This is another Batman figure. If I can get this thing out of here. Just go ahead and pull these papers straight on up. So this one, it's no gold label or anything like that, as you see. But I want to say I had to order this straight from McFarlane's shop. I think it was an exclusive there. Yeah, it was. So this was an exclusive from McFarlane's shop, and I see a comment there. What's up, sir? Is your Instagram detox over yet? So here's the thing about that quick sidebar, because there's a question there. Go ahead and throw that on the screen for Mr. Haverman. There it is. So it's not so much of a detox. It's more of just the fact that I was on there pretty regularly, and I was like, what am I even doing here? Like, I'm getting very little out of this, right? I have other things I could do with my time, so maybe I should just do other things with my time, right? So it's not like I felt like I needed to step away because I was using too much of my time on there. I mean, I don't think I was, right? My usage of that was still actually pretty low. It's just I was going there like, daily or whatever for no real reason. I'd open it, I'd see like the first couple things. Like, I'm not even interested in this stuff. No offense to the people I follow or whatever, but sometimes people show things that you just don't care about. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna not do this for a while and just do something else, right? And whenever I feel like I have something to contribute to this world again, or feel like I need to get something out of this world again, I'll come back. So, I mean, I'm back on there every so often. I posted some things over the last 4 days, right? Well, wait, over the last 3 days, right? And then the fourth thing will go up tomorrow because it'll be a clip from the video I put up today. But all in all, there's no real detox to get over. It's just me not doing it because I just don't see much reason to do it. So when some kind of reason comes along, I'll be back and bigger and stronger and better than ever, or at least back. So there you go. There's that for you. But hello, how are things going for you? So yeah, this is the Knightfall Batman, which I think is very cool. I did also pick up, where is it? It is buried under some other figures right now. But if you saw my San Diego Comic Con pickups, I did get that Knightfall figure as well. So I didn't expect to be able to get that, I guess, because I thought it was going to be a little bit more difficult. But now I just have both of them, and that's fine. Mostly, I do still need to get a Bane figure though, because without Bane, like, what am I gonna do, right? The whole reason I wanted that, well, not the whole reason, but it goes very well with Bane figures because that's the one that broke his back and that whole thing. But I also really just like that look, something about the blue and the gray. It's kind of cool to me. I mean, I would even say it's better than the black and the yellow. And now, from also Target, as you can see on the side of the box. Well, I was wondering what kind of shape this thing was going to be in because I just kind of threw it all haphazardly in the box. But all in all, it's looking pretty decent. So, Doomsday versus Superman. I'm not a big Superman guy, but something about this Doomsday destroying him really just sat right with me. So here we are with this. And then there's what's going on the backside. Very nice glossy sort of print happening. I do like that a whole lot. And now I'm seeing this Doomsday in person for the first time, and this is really cool. Like, I mean, I'm not saying, run out and get it or whatever. If it's the thing you're into, it's the thing you're into. If it's not, it's not. But this, just the detailing of this guy alone is like really solid. So, big fan of it, right? Superman is over there too, sure. I want to knock this water bottle over. Let me move that a little bit. Yeah, I mean, Superman's over here too, right? So you got to have him because, that's how the whole thing worked out. But he seems to be very much just your standard thing. He's got a little battle damage on him or whatever. But all in all, it's definitely like the Doomsday out of this pack that is really selling it for me. Well, I was already sold on it, but I'm just saying he looks like the better figure, So that's cool. I do have another Superman somewhere. He's like, I don't remember what the deal was, but it was part of the Black Adam pack or something. It was a Big Bad Toy Store exclusive. I do remember that. So I picked it up from there. It was like limited to 3,000. Came out a lot better than I thought it would because, again, not a big fan of him. So let's see. All's going well here. Thanks. Awesome Batman figures. And yes, you should definitely get a Bane figure as well. I was actually considering that myself. Yeah, like I haven't. Well, I mean, I do have the trench coat Bane, but that's a very different Bane. Which that one's on top, so I can show you that. But this was the one. Like right now, you can get this on McFarlane Toys, right? But unfortunately, to get this one, you have to buy it as a pack, right? You have to buy it with those two Jokers over there. And a lot of people don't want to do that, which I think is why it's not selling so great right now. If you could get it individually, I think that's the thing a lot of people would rather do, right? I mean, that Sonar Joker isn't for everybody, and the other one is pretty nice though. But I've seen a lot of people in comments around the Twitters saying that they would want the Joker, but they'd want multiple of the Joker because it's got like the clown mask from the beginning of the movie, So let me finish reading this. Do you have any Joker action figures as well? Yeah, I guess I should have finished that comment because that would have made some things a little clearer. Yes, I do have two Joker figures. Just a quick recap. They are both from the Batman Dark Knight movies. One of them is it's a Sonar sort of thing from whatever was going on in the movie where they were like getting a layout of the building. And the other is partially from the beginning where he had the clown mask on, and he also has like the standard head, which is what he looks like through the rest of the movie. So let's go ahead. Yeah, that's a smart way to do that. They had it all like wrapped in the cardboard paper there. So this is Black and Brave, right? Seth Rollins thing. So, and then it's signed up there in the corner. You can kind of see that. So this is just like a big old unnecessary poster that I bought because I was on the Twitters again. because that's, I don't know why, but for some reason, I guess I like going on there because like there's so little that I need to see, and it's just like right there, straightforward, so I can get in and out real fast. But either way, I saw that from Seth Rollins. He's like, "Hey, check these things out. They're signed, limited edition. Go pick up one." I was like, "Sure, okay, cool." Did you say that you got your masked, unmasked Michael Keaton Batman figures from Target? One of those you can get from Target. The other one you cannot. The other one is a McFarlane Toys exclusive. I cannot think of which one is which, but I'm leaning heavily towards the unmasked one being the exclusive and the masked one being mostly anywhere you can find those types of figures. So that should also include Walmart too, and maybe other stores, but those are the only ones that come to mind. And maybe Best Buy too, because I know Best Buy carries a fair amount of figures as well. But where is that thing? Oh, those are like way over there behind some other figures. That's where those are. Otherwise, I'd show them again because I do really like the way those came out, you know? I'm going to buy some little shelf thing for in the bathroom, I think. Might put one of them in each bathroom or something, you know? What is this? So, and then there's something at Hopefall as well. Okay, I didn't join the live when you showed the Joker figures. Sounds cool. Hey, just for you, I will, since they happen to be on top. Wait. So, because I was moving some stuff around earlier, but I'll do a quick recap from a couple weeks ago or something. So this is the Sonar one that I was talking about. So basically, you know, I mean, that might look familiar because that's kind of how it was in the movie, right? When they were doing whatever they were doing. I honestly don't remember. I haven't seen it in forever. But that's what this one is. And then the other one, like I was saying, some people wanted to buy like multiples of these so they can make like a little army of henchmen or whatever, which is a thing that makes a lot of sense, right? But unfortunately, they're only sold as a pack, like the three of them, you know, with these other two. So I get why they're doing that, but I don't like that they're doing that. But either way, so yeah, these are the two Jokers that I have. Unless you want to count a figure from Sideshow Collectibles that I picked up many moons ago, because that's back when I was living in England at that point. So that would have been 2013, maybe 14. I'm leaning towards 14. Yeah, very sure 14. So this right here, what is this? This is a small, so this one is mine. All right, cool. Because I picked up a couple of these Comic-Con shirts, you know, like one is for me, one's for my mom, one's for my aunt, whatever, because we all had tickets. Either way, so it's a Comic-Con shirt. So this one's for me. I was out there last month, right? Yeah, the end of last month doing that whole thing. Good time, very good time. Let's see, what am I missing here? That is quite a haul. I can do a sick poster. Really? You know, I truly wish that I had stayed doing art stuff when I was, you know, because when I was younger, I used to draw like a lot, you know? It was just a thing that I was into. And then, you know how like your parents or family will always say, "Oh, you're doing so great, right? That's really cool." I didn't believe any of that because it's like, of course you're gonna say that, you're my mom or whatever, you know. So I just kind of like threw it to the wind. But then I would hear from other people, and then even looking at some of the drawings that they have shown me from when I was younger, I'm like, huh, maybe I did have some kind of talent there. Unfortunately, I just kind of stopped having much of an imagination for a while, and that kind of got me out of drawing. That, and then I started to loosely get into, these are the same things for mom and my aunt. But then I started to kind of get into like computer art, you know, like doing stuff on there. That was one of my first entrances into like the computer world, was doing that, making that shift. But anyways, enough about me. Let's hear more about you. What kind of art do you do on your posters? I mean, I'm assuming it's like artwork that you do, right? What's going on with that? I want to hear more about it, because why not, right? But in the meantime, I'm going to open this other box here. This also comes from Mattel Creations, right? And actually, it tells you right on the front what it is. That's the cool thing about these. And so I'm not going to go through the whole thing all over again, because I just did that with that one and that. show of hands, does anybody want to see this Muhammad Ali Mattel Creations figure? Because I don't even know why I bothered opening the box, because there's one completely open right there in front of me. So I'm just going to set this to the side. But if anybody wants to see it, I can show it. I don't remember why I bought a third one. It'll come to me eventually. You know, maybe I'll do like a giveaway or something if I can't really remember why I bought it. Because it had to have made sense at the time. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done it. Oh, comic book artist. Nice. Like, I actually just started kind of getting back into reading comics like earlier this year because there was something going on with the Immortal X-Men and I wanted to jump in. Oh, it was the Sins of Sinister. I wanted to see like what was going on with that storyline. Yeah. So I need to finish that up. And then that kind of leads into the, what was it? The Hellfire Gala, I think it is. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on and I wanted to like be into it, you know. And the other thing is like I have that Marvel Unlimited subscription. I think that's what it's called. So because I bought a tablet and I was like, well, if I have a tablet, I need to do something with this, right? So that was what I did. I bought a subscription to the Marvel thing, which made perfect sense. Also, over here, I have the Ninja Turtles Last Ronin covers book. It's like a hardcover thing. It's as thick as like the actual Last Ronin books, which is kind of crazy. But it's just like all this artwork in there. It looks like amazing. It's still in stock. And if you go to idwpublishing.com, you'll see it on there. And the thing about it is like, about that webpage is like, if you click on something, it tells you how many more they have in stock. So super convenient. So there's this side, which is super plain. Should have led with this side because this is the better side. So Mankind, Cody Rhodes, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, and he says yes to the. What did I ask? What did I ask? The Muhammad Ali. Yeah. 1 second. So the way the figure works, right? It's a 2-pack thing, right? So you have him in boxing form and him in referee form. So it's pretty cool. And then it's got like a little magnet sort of thing going on there. So you can, right, magnet things. And on the inside, you have, like I said, both versions of them. They're just kind of covered up by this slightly blurry plastic that they have over here, which, let me pull that out real quick. Jeez. Some of this stuff, it's kind of stuck in there just a little bit. So there's that one, right? Kind of what he's looking like on this side. And this one is on MattelCreations.com or Mattel.com/creations. I don't know. Search for Mattel Creations. It'll come right up. These come in at $70 a piece. I mean, you do get 2 figures for that $70, which makes sense because their standard Ultimate Edition figures are 30-ish a piece. And this one is like a special edition, so it makes sense that it'd be just a smidge more. And you get this fancy box, you know what I'm saying? So you can display it just like this, or you can take them out of the box and, you know, actually stand them out on their own. But yeah, this was presentation-wise, like outside of that Cody Rhodes one, which is, it's nice, right? Because it's got a little flip down walking way or whatever. But I think this might be like the best one, really, like that I've seen in a long, long while. So there, when you open them both and you have them like on the back side, you can see the back of the thing just kind of next to each other, whatever. So all in all, it's a pretty nice set. Like the price, it kind of made me think a little bit at first, but then when I realized like what all you get for it, well, when I saw what all you get for it, I was like, okay, this is actually really cool because when we were at Comic-Con, that's when it was released initially. I was at the WWE panel and they were going over all their upcoming figures and the recently released exclusive figures. And I was like, okay, that Muhammad Ali is, I think I actually do want that now. Because originally I was just like, what do I care? You know, like I'm not like a big Muhammad Ali guy. But once I saw what they were doing, I was like, man, that is nice. Oh, just so you know, these come all laid in here in their own individual boxes, right? It's just one big box to show like all for all the 4 dudes. So we're just gonna go through these. The defining moments pack, right? So this was a thing for a while, but I don't know what happened. They just kind of did away with it. So you got the Mick Foley, well, Mankind, whatever, you know. You got like the tooth coming out of his nose and all that. Got the Mankind mask on this side over here. Standard look and all that, right? Defining moments, like I was saying. I do like the style of these boxes too, so that's also cool. I think they're smaller though. I think these are smaller than the other ones. The only other defining moments figure that I have is in my room over there, so I'm not going to bother bringing that out. But these boxes I just feel like those were taller and even wider. Then you have the Cody Rhodes, right? And this is the one that they did where he had torn his muscle, right? Like his bicep or chest or pec muscle. Something was messed up on him. So that's what this figure is for, right? So that's why it's all miscolored and stuff. But otherwise, that's what's going on here. Cody Rhodes got the bullwhip thing, or cow rope, or whatever you call that. And there's a better picture of what was going on, and that's from Hell in a Cell. Well, actually, I don't think they do those as straight pay-per-views. I think that was just at an event, right? Yeah. Either way, so that's what's going on with that one. Now let's see who's next. Okay, this Shawn Michaels looks kind of weird with this hat. I don't know what it is about it, but it's just a little odd. But either way, so that's him, right? Always a little extra fancy. So there you have that standard style tights that he would normally wear. That's him on the back, right? And if I'm not mistaken, yeah, you can. You can buy these individually, right? So you don't have to buy the box set. You can, if you only want Shawn Michaels, you can buy Shawn Michaels. So that's going to be from ringsidecollectibles.com, of course. If you use the code Chick-fil-A, you can get 10% off, right? I plug them because they're some friends of mine and they have a podcast. So if you're into wrestling, search for Chick-fil-A on the internets, wherever you search for thing on the internets, and it should come up, and then you can listen to their podcast if you would like. And then you have, last but certainly not least, Bret Hart. So I have a pretty decent number of Bret Hart figures at this point. I do have one that is signed, which is kind of cool. It's based off of WrestleMania 26, because that is the first time I ever saw Bret Hart live. Actually, the only time I ever saw Bret Hart live in a wrestling ring. So having that signed is just kind of cool because it was also my first WrestleMania in general. So it's a nice little piece of history for me, right? Not my favorite look for Bret Hart, because he's just wearing some jean shorts, a little Cena action, and I think a roughly Hawaiian shirt, a hockey jersey. So there's that. There's all four of those. Very cool in my opinion, but I can totally understand that some people may not want the box, but it is cool, right? I do like it. It's a nice box, but once you go to display the figures, the box is kind of useless. So that's something to think about. Moving on, Iron Studios. If you saw that Ninja Turtles video that I made a little while ago about like the little figures, little mini statues, they came from Iron Studios. But at some point around, I want to say it was around the 4th of July, they happened to have their like 80th, not 80th, like some anniversary sale, like for however long they'd been a store. So I was notified of this by a co-worker who has cost me probably about as much money as I've cost him in shoe and action figure purchases. He's like, hey man, check this out. And I was like, I will check this out because I know they have stuff that I want. So I need to look into what they have that I want and what the price is. So, man, this is like very nice packaging here. They got bubble wrap over the cardboard box. They got the cardboard box that's like within another cardboard box. So hopefully this Forge figure is in decent shape when I actually am able to get into it. That's the hope, right? And I'm feeling pretty good about it. I am. But we'll know in probably a good handful of seconds here, right? There's that. So like I was saying, it's Forge. If you were watching like the X-Men animated series, you might be familiar with them. And past, jeez, there is a lot of stuff to deal with here. Okay, does this flip open? Because that Magneto I had flipped open. This does not. Show you the front part of it, right? So that's Forge, right? Slightly bigger one. The thing about him was that, to me, he's like one of my favorite people in the Marvel world. Because like, I just think it's cool that he can make stuff, So it's a simple power in a way, but at the same time, it's actually really cool. Oh, jeez. This is a very involved process getting into this thing, man. So, let's see if there's a smart way to go about this, which I don't think it is. So I'm just going to have to jump on in here and cut all through this tape, which there is a fair amount of. Let's see here, which is, I'm sure makes for just extremely compelling YouTube TV or whatever, right? Well, I can't say YouTube TV because that's YouTube TV is actually a thing. I use YouTube TV. So, Jesus Christ. And it doesn't just come straight up. Or, I mean, excuse me, you can't just take it like off from the side. You actually have to go in, get all this stuff cut up so you can lift it straight up because it does have little ridges on the inside, which I think I just cut one of those by mistake. But, okay, so there's that. And now at this point, I have to put this thing together. So, I mean, I'm invested in this now, right? Like, it's happening. So, if I had known, I may have made a different decision and not started opening this. Here's the little base part, right? As far as like what he's going to be standing on, bunch of like broken wires and stuff. Pretty cool though, right? Very intricate design. Then on the bottom, looks a lot like those Ninja Turtles where it just says Forge and it's got the little Iron Studios on the bottom. So here's this. So, and I'm guessing his head is in here somewhere. I don't know. Oh, okay. That would be over here. Because I was about to say, like, you can't just give me the body and no head, right? That would be a little weird, a little incomplete on the figure side. So just bear with me, people. Bear with me. Again, I thought I was just going to be able to pop this thing open and just call it a day. I did have a Beastman figure, Beastman statue from PCS, which is now, it used to be Pop Culture Shock, but I can't remember what it's called now. Premium Collectible Studio, I think. Still PCS, but they were the same way. They had like the little notch on the bottom of the foot, right? Which goes into down there on the bottom right, where you can see that little hole there. Just gonna stick that thing in here. And there. And just like that, now he's ready to rock, right? Now there is more to this. There's some like fire and flames in this thing or something. Whatever's going on with that, probably effects for the gun. Yeah. And so you can't quite see it, but down there in the middle of the gun, like where the bullets would come out of, you put this piece in there. See how it's got the little pin and all that. So, geez, this is. So you kind of make it look like he's just like shooting all crazy, like, which is, you probably want to shoot. Maybe I want to turn this around. That might make a little more sense. Yeah, so that way it looks at, this way at least he's looking at what he's shooting, right? So there you catch it from like a downward angle or whatever, upward. So there's that. I think it's pretty all right in my opinion. So I'm very, and that's an understatement, honestly, but I like the way this thing came out. And it only set me back like, I want to say when everything was said and done, like 70. I think it was like 50 with some shipping, but the regular price was like, say 170 to 200. So it was a large percentage off, right? So I am all for that. And then over here, does that come out of his hands, I guess? So I guess you can switch. Oh, this is probably supposed to go on his back then, because you have another weapon that has the little notch on the back there. So let's see. And yeah. So that goes. Jeez, can't get that thing on there quite right. But it goes in the back, and actually that's my fault for just not paying attention to the shape piece. So there you have that on his back, right? So now he's got like the gun on his back. He's got the one that he's shooting. Dude is ready for war right now, you know? So I am into this. Like, I am cool with how this thing played out. No complaints whatsoever. Though I will say, right, when I get stuff like this and it works out, it then makes me want more of the stuff. So, you know, it's kind of like a bittersweet sort of thing. But I will say, this is It's every bit worth the money that they asked me to spend. Is that what this says? Yeah, this came out to $70.35. But I'm pretty sure it was like somewhere between 170 and 200 originally, right? And that, for what it is, I'm not going to complain. Like, I can kind of see why this had that price point, because the base is super detailed and all that stuff. But that's a price that not everybody's really trying to pay, right? And I get it, because it's a lot, especially in people say like today's economy and blah blah blah, like stuff's getting expensive, and it freaking is. It totally freaking is, right? But it's either like don't buy anything and be bored, or find a way to get the stuff and be at least mildly entertained, right? So I chose the latter. They sent me this like big old box, right? You see that? For a Comic-Con lanyard. It's crazy how some of this stuff works. I don't quite get it, but I'm cool with it. It is actually really nice though, quality-wise, you know? And I like these that have the little detachable thing at the bottom, because it makes it just long enough, right? So I'm not going to go getting into the details, but it's one of those things. It's just convenient for how I like to wear my lanyards or whatever, to have them just the right length. It's not a thing that's like a make or break decision, you know, like if I go in to buy one, I'm not overthinking it like, oh, how long is it? Do I really want this one? No, I buy them based on the look, and I wear them all. Just some I like more. But yeah, so, okay, cool. And this is, if you saw the unboxing of Comic-Con things that I did, because some of those were Comic-Con exclusives, this Carnage was not, right? They did have him there. This was from the Loyal Subjects, right? As it says up there, Loyal Subjects. But they did have Carnage there in stock, but they had a small amount. I thought the Carnage was one of their show figures, so I was like, okay, I'll come back and pick it up later. But then they were all sold out, so I had to buy it online, which is crazy because I ordered this one and the Venom one at the same time, and they said that this one was on back order, but this is the one that actually shipped first. So I don't have the Venom one yet, but I can show you 3 other ones real fast. Here's 2. And grab this other one that didn't quite make the cut. So I did pick up Anti-Venom as well, right? I got blue Venom. Well, it's like a Venom, but blue, because, you know, in some comics he looks a little more blue than anything. Kind of like how Hulk was gray, and then they made him green and blah, blah, blah. And then you have Toxin, right? Which kind of looks like Carnage, but if you look at him closer or whatever, you see they have the same color, right? Just not quite the same layout. So he's got like lines and stuff, whereas he has, I don't even know how you want to describe that, but much like when I do my standard videos and stuff, that's why I put the stuff on the screen so you can see it for yourself and figure it out for your own. Okay, let's see. What is this? Kind of curious, but rather than look at the label and see who it's shipped from, like the X-Men babies, yeah, you know, that is what I kind of thought of when I looked at some of these things. I like them because they're cool and like you can display them like easily because they're small like that. But okay, here we go. But you know, it's one of those things. I do like realistic looking things too, you know, but sometimes this is fine as well. They are up to issue number 2 right now for Street Fighter versus Ninja Turtles, which I said backwards, even though I can see it plain as day that Ninja Turtles is first. So, which one is cover A? This is cover A, right? This Forge guy is a little bit in the way, but it is what it is. So that's cover A right there. They always have 3 at least, because then they have cover B, which is like, you know, your standard one as well. And they do have a 3rd cover that I just ordered yesterday, and that one will create, if you get all, I think it's going to be 5. If you get all 5, it'll make like one big fight scene, whereas these ones don't quite play out that same way. And I don't know where my other Ninja Turtles comic is. I am very sure it was just out. Otherwise, I'd show you what issue number 1 looked like. But either way, so that's what's going on with issue number 2. Pretty nice, right? I haven't read these yet because I would like to, but at the same time, part of me wants to wait until I have the whole story so that I don't have to like wait for it. But I don't know, man. Like I'm starting to get a little like interested in how this is playing out because I'm a Ninja Turtles guy. I like comics, right? Is that art inside manga? Wait, what are you asking about here? Is the art inside? Is I did not read your question right. Let's see, which one was I? So I honestly don't know. But we're gonna find out right now. So I'll open because you got that one. So this one, this one is not mine. I had to think about which one was mine. So for me, that's a very good point. Like, and that's, I mean, it is a thing people say to joke or whatever, but you never know. So that's kind of what it's looking like on the inside, right? As far as the artwork goes. Let me move that over there. There's that. I'll show you some of the beginning maybe so I don't like spoil any. I mean, this shouldn't really spoil too much. It's just showing you the artwork or whatever. So that's kind of what things are looking like in here. Bring that down just a notch, right? Bring that up just a bit too. So, M. Bison. For a second, I thought it was like, is Omega Red in this? I'm like, then it realized, I'm like, that wouldn't even make sense. But it's M. Bison. But when you look at them, M. Bison and Omega Red have some very similar characteristics that I had never thought about until right now. So that's interesting. But yeah, so that's what got there. That was sticky there. Just kind of messed up the comic a little bit. I can tell that, but it's nowhere that. Yeah, so just not quite as careful as I needed to be. But hey, it is what it is. Nothing stays pristine forever, right? Especially not when you start reading things. It happens. So that's what it looks like on the inside. But I do have the premium covers on order. Well, the premium books on order as well. But this one, well, I'm not going to open this one all the way. I'll tell you that right now because of what I just went through with Forge. But I will open it at least to get a look at what's going on in here. But if it is like other Mondo figures, I should be able to at least see it pretty plainly and hopefully talk about it at least a little bit. What in the world? Oh, okay. This is the first time that I've ever seen a figure or a statue where like the box has like these shipped around it, right? So when you open it, like the corners aren't getting all bent. There were 8 of them in here, right, to cover all 4 corners, top and the 4 at the top, the 4 at the bottom. So that is very cool by my standards. So yay for Mondo for doing that. Let's go ahead and open this thing up just a little bit. Not quite as much as the Forge, but we're going to see what we see here. Because I'm curious, and I might as well share this with the few people in here watching it. So, like I said, this comes from Mondo Studios, right? I think it's just mondo.com, possibly. So there's the front. Switch that around to the back. That's what's going on the back. A lot of little words, but I'm not going to worry about those words right now. It's unfortunate that this one doesn't quite have the same style box as the other ones do. Actually, it does. I just didn't notice it. So they have the magnet side. See how that works? You can hear that? Yeah. Got the magnet thing going on. Fantastic. I honestly thought that was only the Magneto one because it's Magneto. Unfortunately, this is going to be very blurry in there, so you can't quite see it. But just know that that's what it looks like. Let's move this thing out of the way just a little bit. See if I can get you a closer picture. So that's what's going on in here, right? So these statues will set you back a retail of about $230-ish. Kind of fluctuates somewhere in there. I've seen some like $215, some $240, but I'm just going to split the difference and say $230. Am I familiar with the rap group Slum Village? They released a capsule with Puma because of 50 years of hip hop and to celebrate their album Fantastic Volume 2. Fantastic Volume 2, sneakers, a t-shirt, long sleeve. I have heard that name, but if you had just asked me like, hey, do you know what Slum Village is? I would have said no. I would assume the clothing line, you know. But either way, so this is from Mondo. I do have the Skeletor on pre-order as well. I thought they were going to ship at the same time. They did not. I also have the Prince Adam and the Wolverine coming whenever those ship. So looking forward to that. And now we move on to the final box, and then this will be the end of it. I did not expect this live to go this long. So to anybody who was like hoping to watch through the whole thing and had better things to do, I get it. You know, I try to get through them a little quicker, but things work the way things work. So take it or leave it. You know, like those are your options, right? You can watch or you can do something else. And I'm fine with either one, right? Never feel obligated to hang out with me. I mean, you probably don't even know me. Okay, so this, let's scoot back just a little bit. Ninja Turtles 3, right? That's what this is, and this is a slide-out box, right? Fantastic. And I'm not doing this slow for effect. I'm doing it slow because it takes a while. All right, let's bring that in here. So, okay, now Ford is just a little in the way. So there's, you can see at the top, you got Leonardo, Donatello, right? At the bottom, Michelangelo, Raphael. So these are the NECA series figures, so that's why they're going to have this like premium sort of thing going on about them. Lots of stuff going on in there. Each one is all going to have that same high quality treatment, which I do like. And then over there on the back, that's what you get. It's like a little fight scene, not fight scene, but a little scene of them just doing different Ninja Turtles things. So there you go. This one, this was a buy it when it's available because it won't be available later situation. So I did make the pre-order straight from NECA, but they did have them at Comic-Con, but I knew that with the size of this box, I was not going to want to deal with the logistics of getting it back here. So I bought it online. And that made that a little bit easier for me. Give me 1 minute real quick. Let me grab something else over here. If I can move some boxes out of the way. Okay, I'm trying to find that last Ronin book real quick. Because I wanted to show it to you guys. But the problem is, like, whenever I do these live things, I always like end up boxing myself in with like all the boxes that I've opened. So they're all like right here. And these 3 books were like just past that, right? So I'm gonna get these pulled up for you. Wait, not that one. Well, yeah, that one, not this one. So I mentioned these a moment ago, the Last Ronin. This is like the standard Last Ronin book, right? The one that came out however long ago. This is the same thing with a different cover, right? It's like a slightly limited-ish one. When I say limited-ish, I mean if you went online and you bought it within a few months of it having it released, you are probably good. I think it did finally sell out, but it wasn't like, oh, it's going to sell out immediately. But this is the covers book that I was talking about. So Last Ronin, the covers. So for this one, I'm going to have to move old Forge out of the way. Set him over here. Let him hang out there. And this is the last thing I'm going to show off for today because it's the last thing I really need to. So when you open it up, you know, you got like different comic book art, whatever going on in here. So I'm not going to show it too much because it's kind of hard to get these pages all opened up. So you got some of that going on. Let's see. Right, so some of these are like you have the original drawing and then you have it when it got all like colored in, so it's pretty cool. But all in all, like the thing is, if you look at like the original book and you look at the covers book, they're like the same width, right? So you get a lot of stuff for the money. This thing does come in at about, I want to say it was like $50. Does it say on it? I'm very sure it was like $50, right? But I thought it was worth it because it sounded cool, and then when I got it and started looking through it, I was like, yeah, this is worth my money, right? So it's something to consider. They do still have these in stock on IDW Publishing, right? So if you're interested in it, go there. They're still pushing it pretty heavily, so you shouldn't even have to look for it. But it's something to consider if you're a Ninja Turtles fan or an art fan or both. But there we go. There's everything. So I've done it. unless anybody has any questions or whatever, I'll answer whatever questions you might have. But otherwise, I think I'm good. I'm going to start wrapping this thing up so I can move on about my night. All right. And, maybe since I've got some time, it's almost 8 p.m. So maybe I will read the first two issues of this tonight because why not, right? It'll be something to do. Then I'll have something to talk about when I get issue number 3. Because issue number 3 hasn't gone out on sale just yet. Because I think this one was just put up like a couple weeks ago, and I feel like it was a while ago that I got issue 1. So I'm not sure how they're spaced out, but it's at least a month or two, like standard stuff, or whatever. So it's something. But yeah, so from me to you, have a nice rest of your day or rest of your night, whatever it is, wherever you are. I appreciate you guys stopping in and hanging out with me while I fumbled my way through Forge boxes and Ninja Turtles things and all the other things that are now making a mess of my living room. It was super clean in here like an hour ago. Now it's back to being terrible. Let's see. Are you a Barbenheimer? I have not seen either one. I was looking at seeing the Oppenheimer movie because I've heard that it's one of the few movies that was truly made to take advantage of like IMAX screens, right? So I was thinking, okay, maybe I'll do that. The only thing I don't like about the local IMAX, the AMC IMAX setup, is that the chairs don't recline like the other ones do. So you're basically like stuck in that same position. Also, the chairs are like a lot closer than the other ones because they're smaller and they're all packed in there. Apparently, there's some guidelines to IMAX theaters and they have to do certain things, and they don't have a lot of say in it. So I want to see it, and I want to see it at the IMAX thing. But 3 hours is a lot of movie to sit through, right? I liked Endgame. A lot of people did, right? I'm no different. But I haven't watched it again, right? And I don't know that I ever will. Even though I like it, it's a lot of stuff. And as far as Barbie goes, like I'm not opposed to watching it, and I'm sure at some point, like I'm not gonna say I'm sure, but I could see how maybe one day I end up watching it, but I'm not going to the theater to see it, and it's not even like it would cost me anything. I have an AMC pass, so like for $30 a month, I get to see all the movies I want, right? Well, 3 movies a week, but that equates to all the movies I want for me. So I could easily go see it, and it'd be of no cost in a sense. But I think I won't, right? Even though I hear it's good and I've got nothing against it, just probably won't happen. But yeah, so no is the short version of that answer. I saw both, but Oppenheimer is mostly dialogue. Yeah, and I figured it was kind of one of those things, right? The way I expect it to be is like it's probably like a decent story, right? If you pay attention and you're into stuff that's just interesting. But if you're looking for action or like comedy or anything, I feel like that's obviously not the one, right? It's just if anything to make you think and according to some people leave you a little depressed, right? Which is a thing that happens. But I've been more depressed by some movies that just weren't good, right? Because it happens. I mean, what's the last movie I saw? The Meg 2 or Meg 2, The Trench, right? Wasn't great. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but it was just like, okay, what's going on here? What's the point of this movie anymore, right? Because where we are at this point, we're like 20 minutes in. I'm like, this is like it's a whole different thing. If they had released that and just said it's like its own little weird sci-fi space, and not space, like underwater shark fighting and whatnot, sure, okay, whatever. But that's not what they did. But yeah. So it does sound interesting, and I'd like to see it because I'm sure anybody could like sum up the movie, but sometimes you want to just like watch it and just get the full thing for yourself, the full experience. So then you take more out of it. Just like they want a lot of your time to do it. Again, not saying it won't happen. I mean, I would actually like for it to happen. That's just bring myself to give up 3 hours of my day. That's a lot, but I'll probably do it. And if I'm going to, I need to make that happen sooner rather than later because I feel like it's been out for a bit and it could like disappear within the next like few weeks probably, right? Because it came actually, yeah, it's probably been out for almost a month, so I probably need to get in there and check that out soon. Actually, I can see right now what the showings are looking like. And while I do that, I'm going to ask, is there anybody else that has something that they want to say and me reply to it? Even if it's not a question, but like you can make a statement, then I'll share my thoughts and such. But maybe, well, actually, yeah. So it looks like they've still got plenty of showings for the next while, so that's cool. The showings only go out a week, but they've got all of the days filled in there. So okay, I might be able to make that happen on one of these days. Yeah, that's gonna have to be an early enough one. Actually, this 3:40 showing doesn't sound bad because I can go into work early, leave work around that time, and just go straight to the movie on the way home, which is convenient. And then because it's like work, movie theater, gym, I can hit those all in a decent order. So, okay, nothing else in there anymore. Okay, that's fine, fantastic, cool, no problem. I am gonna go clean up all of this because this is atrocious. I think that's the word I want to go with. But thanks again for the people who stuck with me through the bulk of this thing. There's a lot of other stuff you could have been doing, and you chose to do this instead of it. So thanks, I appreciate that. But I'm sure you have responsibilities and stuff that you should probably get to. So I'm gonna let you go do that. I'm gonna clean up a little bit and let's see, yeah, and hopefully read these comics tonight, which shouldn't take too long because usually once you get into it, the time just flies by. So thanks again and all that. I do seriously appreciate it. But for now, I'm gonna move on. Later, people. Let me find this end button and I'll be on my way.